Hello grade 10s, welcome to lesson 2 of week 26. Today we're focusing on the water cycle. I'm sure that right from about grade 4 you have been learning about the water cycle, so this is nothing new at all. However, it's a very, very important nutrient cycle in our ecosystems, and so we need to draw your attention to it once again. You need to remember that we've been speaking about energy which comes from the sun and passes through the ecosystem. We say that energy reaches the earth from the sun and it will constantly pass through the ecosystem. The word that we used was it flows through the ecosystem. Matter, on the other hand, molecules and atoms of substances, cannot leave the biosphere and no new matter can enter the biosphere. Therefore, we see that matter cycles through the ecosystem. Inorganic substances as well as organic substances are used over and over again. Now we know that water is an inorganic substance, and what we're going to be looking at in this lesson is how the water cycles through the ecosystem or through the biosphere. We need to remember that it's going to be present in the atmosphere as water vapor. It's going to very obviously be part of the hydrosphere, liquid water part of the biosphere, and it's also going to be a part of the lithosphere in terms of groundwater as well. And so this is the diagram that you've probably come to recognize over the years as the water cycle. We need to ensure that you know precisely what certain terms mean and that you're able to use these terms with reference to work on ecosystems. Let's start with the term evaporation. Evaporation is the movement of water from liquid water into the gas form. Liquid water from the surfaces of water bodies such as oceans, lakes, rivers, and from the soil. We can have evaporation from the soil, and from the bodies of plants and animals. We can have evaporation too. And evaporation from plants is known as transpiration. You've learnt about that earlier this year. All these forms of evaporation, or all these places where evaporation takes place, puts water vapor in the air in the form of clouds. Now, what happens, of course, is that the clouds collect and the water then condenses into liquid again. Condensation is the opposite of evaporation, and we will then see that the liquid water falls to the earth. We call any liquid water falling from the sky or from the atmosphere down to the surface of the earth, we call that precipitation. Precipitation can be in the form of rain, hail, snow, or dew. The water is going to seep into the soil. Some of it will run off into rivers, lakes, the ocean, but some will seep down into the groundwater as well. The groundwater will then also seep into rivers, lakes, and oceans and larger bodies of water. But some of this water will, of course, be taken up by the plants, which in turn are going to allow the water to move through the plant and then evaporate again through the process of transpiration. And so you can see that what we have happening here is this continual cycle of water moving through our biosphere.